Hey, hey! It's the third and final video in our series this time. Now, let's go back to video number 1 for a second. Remember, I've been telling you throughout each of these videos so far that 50% of how your hair looks and performs has to do with how well or not so well you have been caring for it. 25% has to do with your technique for whatever style you're creating, whether it's a twist out, a bantu knot out, braids, wash and go, what have you. And then the final 25% has to do with the quality of the products that you're selecting, right? Okay, so this video, we're gonna talk about treatments. I'm gonna tell you all the treatments that you need to have in your routine in order to make sure that your hair is popping, honey. Okay, the first one that I recommend is a once a month treatment. You don't want to do this any more than once a month, no more than once a month, no less. This is the apple cider vinegar treatment. And the reason that I'm mentioning this first is because this is the one that's probably going to set you up for the greatest success right away. I know it's really important for all of us, no matter who you are, to have successes early on, right? We all want to see we all want to have a win right away, right? Otherwise we get discouraged, we get, kind of disappointed in our results. So an apple cider vinegar rinse is going to set you up for success. The reason you only want to do this once a month is because apple cider vinegar is more acidic than our hair is when it comes to the pH scale. And so if you do it too often, or if you don't dilute it like I'm going to tell you to in just a moment, you'll find that you run the risk of making your hair more acidic than it's supposed to be. It will be out of pH balance, and then you'll end up with brittleness, dryness, counterproductive to exactly what you're trying to achieve. Now, the reason that you're doing an apple cider vinegar rinse is that you're clarifying your hair. Here's the thing. If you've tried tons and tons of products, tons and tons of brands, even if it's just 1 or 2 brands or 1 or 2 different products, you are more than likely, I'm going to venture to say 99% of the time, you have invisible buildup on your hair that you can't see and you can't feel. This is anybody. It doesn't matter what product you use. It's just stuff just gets stuck in your hair, right? Think about it like a shirt. Have you ever had a shirt that you loved and it had some sort of stain in it and you just could not figure out how to get that stain out? You would shout it out, you spray the shout on it, you scrub it with all kind of different, detergents, you wash it several times, and for some reason that stain just stays there. It doesn't go away. You just don't know what to do, and you're frustrated and you're irritated. Though that stain has somehow embedded itself into the fibers of that shirt or that dress or whatever garment it is, and it just won't come out. Same thing happens with your hair. So different environmental factors just fly into our hair. They just find their way into our hair, just in the environment. You can't see them, you can't feel them, you can't taste them or smell them. They just happen to, find their way into our hair. Also, washing or using different products on your hair, different curl creams, different styling products, all sorts of things over time, they, pieces and parts of it get stuck in your hair. Even when you wash it out, even when you wash your hair, sometimes little things remain in your hair and they don't come out, right? And so if you can imagine doing this over the course of time, these little, what seem insignificant particles and little, pieces of buildup and different products that haven't removed themselves from our hair, they build up over time, right? So over time, listen, imagine most people have never done an apple cider vinegar rinse or any sort of clarifying treatment. And so you got years of buildup that you can't see and you can't feel stuck in your hair. So you've got to clarify it out. And I'm telling you, when you do this, you will find that your hair feels so much lighter. Like it literally feels like a weight has been lifted off of it. I kid you not. I promise you when you do this, you will be coming back to be thanking me for telling you about this little trick. It feels lighter. Your curls will be more defined. They'll be more shiny. They'll be popping, honey. Like your whole game will change just with this one treatment. But there's a trick to it. You can't just pour straight apple cider vinegar on your hair. You're going to mess your whole stuff up. Don't do that. You want to make sure that you dilute it. So you want to do 1 part of apple cider vinegar to 6 parts of water. You can select your unit of measure. So let me give you an example. If it's cups that you're using, you're going to use 1 cup of 1 cup of apple cider vinegar to 6 cups of water. Okay. Now, let's say you are doing half cups. You want to do 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar to 6 half cups of water. So whatever the unit of measure that you use, just make sure it's consistent for both types of liquid. But either way, it's 1 part of apple cider vinegar, or ACV as we like to call it for short, to 6 parts of water. Okay, you want to dilute it heavily like that, pour it on your hair. I have a really great video that shows you how to actually do the apple cider vinegar rinse. I'll include it here for you. All right, so that is the first treatment. I'm telling you, it will basically, it provides you with a clean slate of for your hair, so that you can actually, your hair can actually start to accept the moisture that you're trying to have it accept and retain. It can actually, when you do all these other treatments I'm going to tell you about, it will actually be able to actually get to your hair. Because if you're not clarifying your hair and you're doing a hot oil treatment or a deep conditioning or moisturizing your hair, you're essentially just layering more product that's just going to result in more buildup on top of the buildup you already have. So you've got to start with a clean slate. Essentially, you'll have like virgin hair when you do this. Now, you may ask, well, can I use a different clarifying treatment from a store? You can. However, if you buy an over-the-counter clarifying treatment, 9 times out of 10 is not going to be as effective as the apple cider vinegar, for 1. And 2, it's going to cost you more. And 3, there's a good chance you already have apple cider vinegar in your house. And if you don't, it's still way less expensive than buying actual clarifying treatment from like a beauty supply store. So my suggestion is to use apple cider vinegar. The brand I love is called Bragg's. And I love it because it includes what's called the mother. So the mother is like all the sediments and all the minerals and nutrients that most other brands filter out. All that is in the Bragg's brand. So I really love that. So here's the thing that I also want to let you know. When you do your apple cider vinegar rinse or any treatment on your hair, you're only going to do it on a clean scalp. So if you're using Naturalicious, you want to wash your hair with step 1 first. Rinse that out completely, and then do your apple cider vinegar rinse, okay? And then proceed to everything else, all right? So let's assume it's wash day. So you've washed your hair with step 1 in the Naturalicious line. You've now done your diluted apple cider vinegar rinse. So what's next? Next, you should be doing a protein treatment. Now, I suggest that you use an egg. You can also buy protein treatments from the store, but I find that the egg works way better than anything else. And again, you probably already have eggs at home and it's cheaper. Now, if you're a vegan, you can use mayonnaise. That is, well, you couldn't use mayonnaise if you were a vegan because mayonnaise has eggs in it. But if you are not interested in the runniness of the egg, you can use mayonnaise. If you're vegan, you probably want to go ahead and try, an over-the-counter protein treatment. But again, the egg is the most effective, okay? Now, let me tell you how to do the egg protein treatment. This is another once a month treatment, no more, no less. All right, set your clock, put it on your calendar so you'll know when you did it, so you'll know when to do it again. When it comes to the egg, you want to make sure that you are using the yolk only. The yolk actually adds moisture to dry hair. The white of the egg removes moisture from the hair. So you don't want to do the whole egg and you don't want to do the white. Now, you may say, oh, that's wasteful. Well, not really, because you can take the white, make an egg white omelet out of it, use it for arts and crafts with your kids. Eggs are very great for to use. Egg whites are really great to use as glue when it comes to arts and crafts, if you didn't know that. So you don't have to totally throw away the white of the egg. But for this purpose, you only want to use the yolk. Again, the yolk adds moisture. And you and me, girl, we need all the moisture we can get, okay? So the yolk is what you're going to use. Take out the yolk, remove the white, and do that. This is after you've done the apple cider vinegar rinse. Now, I actually suggest for most people to do these on opposing weeks. So that way it doesn't take so much time. Because I am all about saving time. Okay. So you can do your apple cider vinegar rinse one day, let's say week 1. And then instead of doing your protein treatment at the very same time, you can just do it the next week on your wash day. Okay. So that way you spend less time on wash day. All right. And then you don't have to do it again, either one of those again for another month. And then you just repeat them. But the people who do these on a consistent basis, they have the best results. I'm telling you, remember I told you, you've got to put in some work if you want to see the gains. And this is what you have to do. Okay. Now, when it comes to the protein treatment, my suggestion is to do it while your hair is still wet. It will have the egg, assuming that you're using the egg yolk, it's going to distribute way more easily throughout your hair than it will if you try to do this on hair that you have dried. Okay, so you would have already washed your hair. Okay, now you're going to go into the protein treatment and your hair should be wet because you just washed it. You're just going to distribute it through your hair. Okay, just distribute the egg yolk. You're going to ask me how many egg yolks should you use? You were thinking that, right? I know you were, because everybody asked me that. I personally use 3 egg yolks. Now, my hair is in a certain style right now, so it's a little bit shorter than it normally is. But when I pull it down, it actually comes to about my bra strap in the back. So for my length and my thickness of my hair, I use 3 egg yolks. But it doesn't really matter how many egg yolks you use. It's not going to be better or worse for you to use more egg yolks. Okay, so you're gonna have to just figure out what works for you. I personally use 3. If someone is has very short hair, they may use 2 or 1. So you'll have to figure out what the right, amount of egg yolks for you is. But it's not rocket science. I'm pretty sure you can figure it out pretty easily. All you need to do is just experiment. Try 2 eggs. And if you need more, then get a 3rd egg. If you need another one, get a 4th egg. Most people don't need more than 4 eggs. You should be okay with at most 4 eggs, maybe 5 eggs if you got really, really thick, really long hair. But you shouldn't need the entire carton of eggs, is my point. Okay, so use as many egg yolks as you need, and that will be your protein treatment. So again, that's once a month. Now, that is going to help to strengthen your hair. So the apple cider vinegar rinse help to clarify your hair, helps you to start on a clean slate. It gets rid of all the extra buildup, all the stuff that you can't see or feel, and it makes your curls pop like nothing you will have ever done before. Trust me on this. The protein treatment, on the other hand, is going to strengthen your hair. So your hair, you may actually feel once you do it, you may actually feel that it actually makes your hair stronger. Like it feels literally like it's a little bit stronger. Like how's that happen? But you may actually feel that it feels a little bit stronger. It's going to make it more resistant to breakage, which is what we're trying to avoid. If you're trying to grow your hair, you got to stop breakage right away. All right. So that's what you want to stop. Now, I do want to give you a little tip. If you're going to use the egg, you want to make sure you rinse with cold water. Because if you don't, you're going to fry the egg on your head and it's going to not be nice. I mean, it's not going to hurt your hair, but who wants to have fried eggs in their hair? That's whack. I don't want scrambled eggs in my hair. So, and I say this from experience because the first time I ever did a protein treatment, I did not know, because no one told me this, to not rinse my hair with warm water. I rinsed it with warm water, just like if I were in the shower, and I had scrambled eggs in my hair. So my tip is to rinse with cold water, so that way you don't end up with the fried eggs on your head. All right. All right. So then the 3rd treatment that I'm going to suggest to you is a weekly treatment. So these first 2 were monthly. You're only going to do those once a month. You're going to be done. You know what? Let me back up a little bit. To the protein treatment. When you're doing the protein treatment, you're going to put the egg in your hair. Like I said, distribute it on your wet hair. And then you're going to put a plastic shower cap on, or some sort of plastic, something plastic, whether it's a grocery store bag or a shower cap or what have you. And then you're just going to wait for about 20 minutes and then you're going to rinse it out with the cold water. Okay. You want to make sure you cover it so that way it stays hydrated so it doesn't dry. You don't want the eggs to dry in your hair. All right. So you want to make sure that you do that and then proceed to rinse with cold water. All right. Again, once a month. Okay. Now let's move on to the 3rd treatment. This is every week. So every time you wash your hair, you should be washing your hair every 7 to 10 days on average. You shouldn't be going 2, 3, 4 weeks without washing your hair. I know some people who don't wash their hair after, for 6 weeks, and that's crazy. You can't do that. Your hair grows from the scalp, and it cannot grow like it should at the rate that it should when your pores in your scalp are clogged. Okay, which is going to happen if you're not washing your hair on a regular basis. So every 7 to 10 days, your hair needs to be washed. So that means that every time you do your wash day, you should be doing a hot oil and a deep conditioning treatment. Now, here's a great thing if you're using Naturalicious. Step 1 is a deep conditioner. Step 3 is your hot oil treatment. Right? So you don't need to go out and buy brand new products for this. You can use what you already have. The same thing you wash your hair with, which is step 1, is the same product that you're going to use for your deep conditioning. So after you've washed your hair, and assuming this is not a day that you're doing your protein treatment or your hot oil protein treatment or your apple cider vinegar rinse, after you wash your hair, you would then just put step 1 back onto your hair for your deep conditioning. Okay. And then put step 3 on top of that. So you're literally layering it. Now, I know you're going to be thinking, well, can I just mix them together? No. This is important for you to layer it just like I mentioned. So your wet hair, step 1 on that, and then you're going to put step 3 on top of that. Now, each of these products are amazing by themselves, but they're incredible incredible when they're together. Now, I like to joke and say that they're a movement by themselves, but they're a force when they're together. And that's so true, because when they're made and formulated to work incredibly well in conjunction with each other. The great thing about these products in the Naturalicious line is that instead of doing a hot oil treatment separately from your deep conditioning, you can do it all at one time. And it actually works even better when you do it together. Now, when you do this, I promise you, you are going to email me and you're going to be like, Gwen, where have you been all my life? It is a game changer, because your deep conditioning, step one, actually is full of silica and magnesium and potassium and calcium and all sorts of minerals that your hair is probably never, ever, ever going to get in any other way, unless you're taking vitamins, and you got to take a lot of them to get it. So this is a topical solution, obviously. You're putting this on your hair, and it's going to infuse your hair with all these amazing things that it never gets. And then step 3, you put that on top, which is the Divine Shine Moisture Lock and Frizz Fighter. And that helps to remove the knots that you have in your hair. It helps to reduce the frizz. It helps to make your hair shiny without feeling greasy. All these things amazingly work well together. All right. So you're going to put on step 1, and then step 3, layer it on top of that. Put a plastic shower cap on, or grocery store bag if that's what you have. Hang out again for 20 minutes. Just chill, do a couple chores, read a book, listen to some music, whatever you want to do, and then rinse that out. Okay, you can rinse that out with warm water. Okay, so let's recap. So before I recap, I want to make sure that this is clear. This is part of what I'm talking about when I say 50% of how your hair turns out has to do with how well or not so well you've been doing your hair. Let me give you a couple of examples of people who have been doing these treatments that I told you about just now. So here we have, let's go with, this is Letitia. Letitia came to me with this hair that was dry, frizzy, very low definition. And now we have Letitia now with these curls that are defined, popping, shiny, amazing. She looks fantastic because Letitia has been using Naturalicious, and she's also consistent. All right, we also have, this is one of my favorites. This is Carol. Look at Carol. Oh my gosh. Look at Carol's hair before. Look at this before and after. Carol's hair was dry, honey. It was frizzy. And Carol obviously has color as well. And color makes your hair even drier. So for those of you out there who have color in your hair, guess what? Naturalicious products are also color safe. But look at Carol now. She's sleek. She defined. Look at her face. Even her confidence is up. Yes, Carol. Yes, honey. Yes. And then we have Nana. Look at the hair looks great, but look at the confidence that has changed in these ladies' faces. Look at how they're feeling themselves now. This is Nana before. This is Nana after. She looks amazing. Again, she's consistent every week. She's doing her hot oil treatments, her deep conditioning treatments. She's every month she's doing her apple cider vinegar rinses. She's doing her protein treatments, because this is what works. She's also moisturizing her hair daily. This is what works. This is the formula for finally getting the hair that you truly want. And then this is Kiera. So Kiera already had a good amount of hair. Her hair was thick, her hair was full, but it really wasn't defined. So again, it doesn't matter how thick, not so thick, what hair type, how short or long your hair is. Look at the improvement. Now, you may have seen Kiera on the street with this hair and may have said, like, oh, her hair is nice. But it's no comparison for this hair. Totally different, because Kiera has been doing her part, not just relying on products, but using products in conjunction with an amazing routine that gives her that super shiny, incredibly beautiful after picture. Okay? Now, I want the same for you. So, you've already got yourself some Naturalicious products. This is incredible. Make sure that you marry that with an incredible routine full of moisturizing your hair daily with step 2, and also doing your apple cider vinegar and your protein treatments monthly. And then finally doing your deep conditioning and your hot oil treatments every single week. I guarantee you, if you do this, just do these things, you will find that your hair will be in so much better of a state. You will be feeling yourself, girl. You're going to look in the mirror and be like, who is that beauty queen? And it will be you. All right. So you may be out here envying other women's hair, wishing you had theirs, or on YouTube wishing that you had someone else's hair, but you are about to be the one that everyone is envying, because you now have the tools and the tricks and the tips and all that stuff to make sure that you look your most fantastic every single day. I cannot wait for you to send me some pictures of yourself, because I know that just following these tips I've given you in these 3 videos is going to change your life completely. All right. If you have any questions or comments, anything, you can always reach us by hitting us up on Instagram at naturalicious_beauty. And you can also email us at concierge@naturalicious.net. Also, if you haven't joined the Naturalicious Nation, what are you doing with your life? Make sure you go on Facebook and join the Naturalicious Nation. There are over 10,000 other women just like you working to make sure that their hair looks incredible and awesome every single day. And they, along with me, are there to help you on your journey. All right, I'll see you soon, and I can't wait to see those pictures. Talk to you later. Bye.